When you are selfish, you are bound in the consequences of the karmas. And when you are doing it selflessly, you're doing it for His sake. So you are free from the karmas. Not only that, you are also free from tension and anxiety. Now, why is it that everybody is doing works? Some are entangled, some are not. The difference is in the inner attitudes. Work is done with our body, mind and intellect. And attitude are the sentiments we harbor within. One apprentice truck driver was getting training from a senior. They went on a ride, a long distance one. And the apprentice got tired after 5 hours. He handed it over to his teacher. The senior truck driver casually drove for the next 10 hours. The apprentice was impressed and said, "You don't get exhausted in driving. What is your secret?" So the senior said, "When you leave home for driving, what do you tell your boss?" He said, "I tell her I'm going to drive my truck." The senior said, "That is the difference. When I leave home, I tell my wife I'm going for a ride to the countryside." The difference is in the attitude. He's saying, I'm going to enjoy the countryside. For you it is labor, for me it is play. So in doing works, there are different attitudes. The difference that Sri Krishna is pointing to is whether your work is selfish or selfless. As we discussed, when you are selfish, you are bound in the consequences of the karmas. And when you are doing it selflessly, you're doing it for His sake. So you are free from the karmas. Not only that, you are also free from tension and anxiety. Like there is that smart saying, no God, no peace, no God, no peace. The first is N-O. No God, no peace, N-O. The second is K-N-O-W. No God and you know peace. So how do you know peace? Because you say, I'm doing it for His sake. The first time I started preaching and I made a satsangi. And I took that lady to Maharajji. Maharajji engaged her in chanda. Chanda means doing collections. So there was a project going on in the ashram. He said, you go out and collect. So she was along with the senior collector. They both used to, that was their seva. They would go out and do chanda. It is a very purifying seva for anybody who's done it. That lady, she was relating her experience to me. She said, Swamiji, once, from morning, we went to 27 houses and people and offices, and everybody kept refusing. So we were so demoralized. How atrocious. Now naturally people engage in negative self-talk. मैं तो किसी काम की नहीं हूँ, मुझसे तो कभी नहीं होगा, Guruji's grace is not on me, how terrible, nobody responds, I don't know how to speak. So they gave a call to Maharajji. Now this is before the mobiles came, you had to actually do a line call and he would pick up that time his satsang was also small. So this, Maharajji, we went to 27 people and they all have refused since morning. Maharajji started laughing. Now they thought, we giving such a bad news and he's laughing. In any case, the conversation was over. Then they said that if he is feeling happy about it, that 27 people refused, then why should we feel sad about it? And then they realized that his purpose is that we get purified in this effort. And when people are refusing, that is what is purifying us. So he's having a hearty time, that our hearts are getting purified. Then there is no reason for us to feel bad. So if you do your karma in that spirit, then you have a gala time. It's not that you don't do karma. Somebody says, Swamiji, should I try to become a millionaire? Go ahead, do it just because it will purify you in the process. Not because you need the million and this will ensure your cruise to the Mediterranean. But you're doing it as an offering. Ho gaya to theek, nahi hua to theek. So when you know God, means when you're doing it for the sake of God, then you automatically become peaceful. So, on the other hand, are those who do their works to themselves. So they offer their works to themselves. That is what every worldly person is doing. Now in that case, then they have to pay for the consequences of their karmas. One doctor, he rang up the patient and he said, I need to tell you your check has bounced. The patient said, Doctor, I also need to tell you the fever has come back. So if we are, God says, look, if you are on your own, if you are not surrendered to me, I have this rule. I bestow justice. Karma pradhana vishva kari rakha, jo jasa karai so tas phalu jak. And if you choose to surrender to me, then the rule changes. Now the rule of grace comes in. And by that grace, not only do I free you from sin, I also endow you with my divine energies, my divine powers. You become the recipient of my grace, my bliss, my divine love. And you start experiencing that peace which we all want.